What can a conductor use in order to be a conductor? Well, first of all, breathing. Because without this, anytime I'm trying to start with a phrase, with a note, with whatever, I'm not starting it at all. I cannot just do that. No one is starting. I need to breathe and to connect my breathing with the player breathing, and then we just pum, and the sound comes alive. Secondly, the hands. Of course, it can be bare hands or with the baton. It's almost the same thing. We will see in the next video if or it's better with or without a baton, but we will see later on. But hands, because of course they show the movements horizontally if you need a more staccato articulation, and vertical like this, turning 90 degrees, if you need a more legato way of conducting. Typically, when you conduct a choir, you see the choir conductor with bare hands, without the baton. Why that? Well, many reasons can be found. First of all, the choir is not that big, and so you don't need something that makes you visible very far away, so hands are enough. But I think especially because when you conduct the voices, the basic element of voice is legato, and so when you have to show legato with bare hand is really easier to show instead of conducting with a baton. Of course, the arms, and most of all, the weight of the arms, because when you conduct, you need to use your weight in order to bounce with the hand, with the arm, sorry. You need to bounce because the sound that you have to produce is something alive. It's not dead, it's not lying down. So if you conduct stuck like this, nothing happens. If you just breathe and then boom, boom, the bouncing is very good to show the player when to produce the sound. Of course, the eyes, very, very important to establish a connection between you and the players. And it's not only a physical connection, I would like to say, because the hands and the arms have this physical, visible connection. But with the eyes, you get much more. You get also a psychological connection with the person who looks into your eyes, and you look into his eyes or her eyes, and you can really show your intentions besides everything else, the arms and the hands and so on, but you can really connect with that person. So eyes is very important. Of course, the whole body. Again, the posture is very important. If I always conduct like this, a little standing in the back and using only my arms like this, I'm always stuck in my position, I'm not communicating. If I really need a pianissimo or an intimate passage, I can close a little bit, also my shoulders, and then in a fortissimo passage, I can open up, I can stand straight, look far away, and just communicate a very strong intention. So the whole body is very important. And last but absolutely not least, the ears. Of course, I'm not conducting with my ears, but I need, as a conductor, to use my ears to hear perfectly well everything going on. Because without this very hard element to learn, I'm not actually conducting. I'm just beating a tempo. Okay, I can beat this tempo, but if I'm not realizing everything going on stage, if it's right or wrong, if they get me right or if they get me wrong, I can even have the most beautiful and perfect gesture in the world, but I'm not conducting. I'm not conducting a CD, which is always the same thing over and over again. I can conduct like this, I can conduct like this. The CD is not changing. But when it comes to a live performance, everything can change in every moment, and you have to get that change, get the difference, and be ready to come away from your perfect movement and help the players, help the orchestra where they need to be helped. So you cannot be a conductor if you don't train your ears.